He's a member of the Republicans' China Task Force, as well as the House Armed Services, Education, and Veterans Affairs Committees. Congressman, good to have you with us. This is a clear and obvious pivot toward meeting the challenges that China has put before us head on. Are you welcoming the new, more spirited and direct president?
I appreciate the president's leadership, Lou. As you know, we have been in an economic war with China all of my life, and we've been in a soft power competition with China for decades. President Trump is already the first president to acknowledge it, to do something about it with better trade deals. And now with coronavirus bringing to light how much of a threat our economy's entanglement with China's economy is, the American people are demanding more out of our leaders, including the president and myself, other members of Congress. And the president is reacting to that in a way that I greatly appreciate.
Yeah, I think that we have all both acknowledged and appreciate the president's leadership. It is also, though, I think very clear that some of his advisors are trying to move him in a different direction. For example, suddenly, after saying that he would consider withdrawing all funding, the White House makes it known that there will be partial funding. This is, to me, outrageous. Either it's almost a repetition of the Huawei sanctions. There is a half-hearted approach by parts of this administration that are in such great conflict as a result of the conflict among some of his top advisors. It's unseemly, it is not good policy, and it's sure as hell not what this president ran on when he was elected.
No doubt, Lou, there are some members of the administration who have not served the president well when it comes to addressing the China threat. But at the end of the day, the buck stops with the president, and he's fallen through on he's come through on so many of his promises to hold China accountable. But this is becoming quickly a binary choice. You're either with China and the Chinese Communist Party, or you're with the United States of America. And what's become painfully clear to the American people is that when it comes to Republicans and this president, we're doing something about it. We're focused on the China threat. That's why Kevin McCarthy set up the China Task Force. We invited Democrats to participate with us, and they chose instead to retreat away from doing anything about it at all, because they're far more focused with attacking the president and turning a blind eye to the China threat than they are doing something about it. And that's why I'm glad that the president recognizes that further funding for international organizations who are also entangled with China's interest to the detriment of the United States, like the WHO, do not deserve United States taxpayer dollars. And the president gets that as well as anybody. That's why I think he's made clear that he's on the right side when it comes to withholding funds to these organizations.
Forgive me, Congressman, you just used an expression I haven't heard in a while. He gets this. This president, let me be clear. This president, as you just pointed out, has been leading on China from the very beginning, for years before he was elected. But suddenly we're looking at a president who has conflicted advisors, and they're trying to turn the most, in my opinion, the greatest president in the country's history, they're trying to turn him aside from a direct threat to this nation. And no games can be played. I mean, the idiot who came up with the idea that instead of cutting off funding to a, by the way, entangled organization, that organization is owned lock, stock, and barrel. We're talking about the World Health Organization doing the bidding of President Xi. It is now an ally of what is effectively an enemy state. My God, the Republicans have got to wake up. I mean, even Biden can sit there and talk about this silliness of saying we're going to fund the World Health Organization at the same level of China instead of doing what is dramatically necessary, the first idea they had, which was to create a global health organization that is aligned with U.S. Commitments to democracy and a free society. My God, what in the world is going on? And the Republican Party can't figure out in the Senate whether to run with him or against him, apparently. The Republican Party, it's one thing to be cowardly, but to be cowardly and stupid, they need to start listening to Ronna McDaniel, and certainly follow the leadership of President Trump.
Well, you're right, Lou, and that's why Republicans in the House have tried to create a roadmap to tackle these issues with the China task force, making it a top priority of Republicans in the House. And I applaud Kevin McCarthy's leadership in putting that task force together. We want to work with this president to hold China accountable because the American people more than ever are demanding it. They're demanding that their leaders do something about this so we never go through what we're going through today ever again. And don't allow the Chinese to take advantage of America while our economy is on its knees, exactly like their designs are to do. So Republicans in the House are doing everything that we can, I believe, Lou, with all due respect to the efforts with the China task force to put together a roadmap to do just that.
Well, Congressman, I know that you're at the forefront of those supporting the president and trying to do as much as possible to move forward the Trump agenda. But we need louder voices. We need greater action from Republicans in every quarter on Capitol Hill. Another 2018 the Republicans can't afford. And when you've got the Senate behaving as it is under this majority leader, disaster awaits without a change of direction on the part of the GOP. Congressman